April 1796. After weeks of marching through mist-covered mountains, the French army under General Napoleon Bonaparte reaches the borderlands between Italy and Piedmont. Ahead of them stand two allied enemies, the Austrian army under General Beaulieu and the Piedmont Sardinian forces commanded by General Colli. If these two armies unite, Napoleon will be vastly outnumbered. But the young commander knows one truth: victory belongs to those who move faster than their enemy. Napoleon devises a bold plan. Instead of attacking head-on, he chooses to strike at the weak link, the gap between the Austrians and the Piedmontese. By seizing the central position, he will split their alliance in two, forcing them to retreat in opposite directions. Then he can crush each enemy separately. It is the birth of his signature art of war, divide and conquer. On April 10th, 1796, Napoleon fights his first battle, the Battle of Montenotte. Through thick fog along the Apennine Mountains, General Massena leads a daring assault up the ridge, smashing the Austrian line within hours. Napoleon seizes the moment, launching swift victories at Milsimo and Dego, driving the Austrians north and severing their link with Piedmont. Meanwhile, General Colli's Piedmontese army digs in around the hills of Mondovi, hoping to hold the French long enough for Austrian reinforcements to arrive. But Napoleon will not wait. He throws his entire force forward, personally leading the attack amid smoke and drums, calling out to his men, "Soldiers, from this place the glory of France shall shine across Europe." The Battle of Mondovi becomes a decisive triumph. The Piedmontese army collapses, and General Colli is forced to sue for peace. In just 2 weeks, Napoleon ends 4 years of war between France and Piedmont, opening the gates to northern Italy. On April 28th, 1796, the peace treaty is signed at Cherasco. The Kingdom of Piedmont Sardinia cedes key fortresses, Cuneo, Tortona, and Alessandria, and grants French forces free passage through its territory. Once again, Europe is stunned. The 26-year-old general, once dismissed as a mere political appointment, has defeated a coalition in just 14 days. From that moment, the soldiers of France hail him with a new title of affection and respect: Le Petit Caporal, the Little Corporal.
April 1796. After a series of lightning victories at Montenotte, Milsimo and Dego, the French army under General Napoleon Bonaparte has torn apart the Austrian Piedmontese alliance.
Our advantage lies
now
in this
they face Mondovi, where General Colli has gathered the last remaining forces of Piedmont Sardinia to resist. Napoleon knows that if Colli delays him even for a few days, the Austrians under Beaulieu will sweep down from the north and trap his army. There is only one choice left: to strike fast and strike hard. Through heavy rain and roads thick with mud, Napoleon drives his men across the Tanaro River, launching what will become the Battle of Mondovi, a clash that will make his name known across all Europe. On April 21st, the thunder of drums echoes through the valley. French cannons pour fire upon the enemy positions, while infantry advances through smoke and mud. General Serrurier leads one column through the hills, crashing into the Piedmontese center. Their lines shatter, tricolor flags wave through the smoke. Mondovi has fallen. Realizing that further resistance means destruction, General Colli orders a retreat and sends envoys to negotiate peace. In just 14 days of campaign, Napoleon has broken a coalition that had held France in stalemate for 4 long years. His once starving, ragged soldiers are now an unstoppable army, and the young general, once dismissed as a lucky novice, has become the very symbol of hope and glory. On April 28, 1796, at the town of Cherasco, a peace treaty is signed between France and Piedmont, Sardinia. Piedmont is forced to surrender the fortresses of Cuneo, Tortona, and Alessandria, and to grant the French army free passage through its territory toward Lombardy. It is a victory not only of force, but of strategy and diplomacy. From the sunlit fields of Cherasco, the French army marches eastward toward the rich plains of Lombardy, where the Austrian Empire still awaits. And as the sun sets, Napoleon turns to a close aide and murmurs, "We have opened the door to Italy, but beyond that door lies an empire trembling with fear."
May 1796. After signing the peace treaty with Piedmont, Sardinia at Cherasco, Napoleon Bonaparte turns his army eastward, towards the plains of Lombardy, where the Austrian Empire still stands ready with a powerful force. As the French march into the fertile lands of northern Italy, Napoleon faces a new challenge: to cross the River Po, one of the largest and most formidable rivers in Europe. On the opposite bank, Austrian General Beaulieu has entrenched his troops, believing the French will never be able to cross such a violent current. But Napoleon never fights by the old rules. He orders a feint to the west, while secretly concentrating his main force downstream near Piacenza. Under cover of darkness and biting wind, his soldiers silently build pontoon bridges, and by sunrise, the French army is already across the river. Beaulieu is stunned. Napoleon's maneuver is so swift and daring that the Austrians have no time to react. Without hesitation, he orders his artillery to unleash a thunderous bombardment, while the advance columns rush forward to secure the bridgehead. It is one of the boldest river crossings in European military history. May 10th, 1796. On the river Adda, near the small town of Lodi, Napoleon confronts the Austrian rearguard. A long wooden bridge, more than 200 yards across, is defended by 14 Austrian cannons and thousands of muskets. Smoke, cannon fire, and roaring waters fill the scene with chaos. Napoleon stands exposed amid the shell fire, staring at the bridge ahead, and cries out, "Soldiers of the Republic, your country watches you! Forward!" Hundreds of French soldiers charge onto the bridge under a storm of bullets. Many fall, yet those behind keep advancing. Gunpowder smoke thickens the air. Explosions light up the young, fearless faces of the attackers. Napoleon himself joins the assault, riding through the smoke and crossing the bridge under relentless fire. When the smoke clears, the Austrians are in full retreat. The Battle of Lodi becomes legend. Napoleon would later say, "At Lodi, I first felt that I might truly become someone extraordinary." Days later, the French army enters Milan amid thunderous cheers from the people. The tricolor flag waves proudly above the ancient towers, and the name Napoleon Bonaparte resounds across Europe. This was not merely the triumph of a general. It was the birth of a legend, the moment when Napoleon transformed the battlefield into his destiny.
May 15th, 1796. After the resounding victory at the Battle of Lodi, the army of the French Republic marches triumphantly into Milan, the heart of Lombardy, the economic and cultural center of northern Italy. The sound of drums echoes through ancient cobblestone streets. Tricolor flags wave atop the old towers. Crowds fill the squares, watching with awe and excitement. To them, the soldiers of the Republic are not merely conquerors, but messengers of liberty, carrying with them the spirit of freedom, equality, and fraternity from France. Napoleon Bonaparte, only 26 years old, enters Milan as a hero. Yet, in his eyes, there is more than pride. There is reflection, a quiet awareness of destiny. He knows that the victory at Lodi has not only opened the gates of Italy, but also opened a new chapter in his own life. Inside the Palazzo Serbelloni, Napoleon receives Lombard nobles and Italian intellectuals.
We have no choice but to wait.
They hail him as a liberator, but he knows the truth. Freedom survives only when it is guarded by power. And in Italy, that power now bears the name Bonaparte. But not all rejoice. Some noble families tremble in fear. Many ordinary citizens wonder whether the French Republic truly brings freedom, or if it merely heralds the rise of a new empire. Even among his officers, whispers spread that Napoleon is beginning to look more like a ruler than a general. In the flickering candlelight of a Milanese night, Napoleon writes a letter to Paris. I stand in the center of the ancient world, where glory and power once reigned. Yet no throne can endure forever before the will of the people. At dawn, he stands on a balcony overlooking Milan's main square. The tricolor flag of France flutters above the Italian skyline, and in that moment, he feels it deeply. He is not merely conquering Italy, he is conquering the heart of history itself.